You walk into the boardroom, the conference room, the leadership table, and call it the office. I call it the arena. For over 3 decades, I sat in those spaces working hard to succeed without compromising my faith. I looked for teaching that showed me how to navigate 2 worlds that everyone said were in conflict and found nothing. Nobody was teaching what I needed, so I learned it the hard way. Now I am here to give you what I could not find. Welcome to In the Arena with Stephanie, where we do not balance faith and work, we harmonize them. This is the home of the authentic ambassadors, women who know they were not placed in their arenas by accident, they were sent. So let's go into the arena. I want to talk about something that nobody really addresses when they tell you to just be authentic. Being authentic does not mean telling the people in the arena everything about yourself, or because you are a woman of faith, you have to wear your entire spiritual life on your sleeve at work so that everyone knows where you stand. That is not authenticity. That is actually working against you. And I think a lot of women in the arena do not realize it. You need to be yourself, but you need to be yourself wisely. There is a difference between hiding and being strategic about what you reveal and when you reveal it. So here's what I have noticed. Women in the arena tend to overshare the wrong things and undershare the right things. And I do not think they know that they're doing it. So let me start with some of the things that women overshare. Number 1, personal stuff. And I get it. You spend a lot of time with your colleagues, and it feels natural to talk about your life. But there's a difference between being human at work and giving people a window into your vulnerabilities. You give them that window that they did not earn and honestly did not even ask for. When you are consistently talking about your challenges at home or relationships or what is not working in your personal life, people start filing that information away. And they're not being malicious, but they just do it. And at some point, when your name comes up for something big, someone in that room remembers those conversations. And they may say things like, she's got a lot going on at home. Is she going to be able to handle this? And the information that they use against you is information that you gave them. Number 2, women often share too much about their failures. They let their colleagues consistently hear them saying things like, I just couldn't do it. I've never been good at this. Or even, I'm not sure that I could pull it off. Women say these things out loud in professional spaces, and they think that they are being honest or relatable. But what they're actually doing is building a case against themselves. Because people believe you when you talk about your limitations. They take notes. And then when the opportunity comes, they think, well, she said herself that she struggles with it, or she doesn't think that she can do it. And the third thing that I'll mention that women overshare, especially women of faith, is that they think that they could never really overshare information about their faith. And I know this one is delicate, so stay with me. And remember, I'm talking about oversharing in the arena only. There's a version of showing your faith at work that actually pushes people away from everything you represent. For example, when someone makes a big deal because someone did not say prayer or grace over their food, or when women try to have those deep theological conversations in spaces where people did not sign up for that conversation. Consistently quoting scripture at someone who is going through something hard when they actually just need it for you to listen. There is a time and place for that. But usually it's not in those spaces in the arena to just consistently do it. I've seen women really do all three of these things, and they think that they are being a witness and letting their light shine when actually they are just making people feel uncomfortable and not drawing them to Christ, but even pushing them away. And the worst part is that their work sometimes suffers because the perception that they give is that she is more focused on her religion than she is on her job. Here's the thing about faith in the arena. The goal is not to make continuous grand announcements. Hey, look at me, I am a Christian. But the fruit of the Spirit, the fruit of God should permeate through your being. For example, your peace in a chaotic meeting can speak volumes. The way you treat people when nobody is watching can give a glimpse of what your faith looks like in real life. You don't have to make these grand announcements. You just have to live it consistently and let people see who you are and be drawn to it. And honestly, the conclusions that they draw from watching you will be far more powerful than anything that you can say to them. Now, let me talk a little bit about how women undershare. And at times this one actually frustrates me a little bit because I see so much potential sitting quiet in rooms where it should be louder. Women don't always talk about themselves. They don't always talk themselves up. And I get it. I understand why. There's a whole conditioning around not being too boastful. And especially for women of faith, there is an added layer because of pride, and they don't want to be prideful. They don't want to be arrogant. And so they stay quiet about their wins. You don't know about their accomplishments. They don't talk about them out loud. And you just do good work and you hope that someone notice it. But meanwhile, the men that are in the room that are across the table from them have no problem talking about their accomplishments. They have no problem talking about their experiences. Even when they are looking at opportunities that they are not qualified for, they will still raise their hand to be considered for that particular opportunity. And then they will figure it out once they get in the role. Whereas I see women who don't want to take the risk of putting themselves in those opportunities unless they have all the details and how to solve the problems. Guess what? You do not get what you can't communicate to the right decision makers. I've even watched women be the best kept secret in their organization. talented and capable of fulfilling those roles, but just completely invisible to the people who have the power to move forward. You know why? Because they never made it easy for those people to see what they actually had and what they actually could do. And oftentimes we call it humility, but it's not humility, it's hiding. And there's a difference. So I want to introduce you to a concept that I call the ambassador's filter. Before you share something at work, ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, does this build or does this expose? And does this serve my assignment or does it serve my need to be understood in this moment? Because sometimes we share personal things not because it is strategic, but because we need someone to know what we are carrying. And again, I understand that, but your colleagues are not your therapists. And the boardroom is not the place for that kind of release. But what you need to do is find the right spaces for that. Maybe with your mentor or coach or in a community, and definitely in your time of prayer. So before you stay quiet about something, ask yourself whether you are being humble or whether you are being invisible. Because one of those serve God and one of them just keeps you stuck. You see, your faith is your foundation. Your wins are your evidence, and none of those things need to be hidden. You just need to know when and how to bring them into the room. I want to thank you for joining. If something shifted in you today, don't keep it to yourself. Share this episode with another woman in the arena who needs to hear it. You never know whose breakthrough is just on the other side of you hitting that share button. If you have not already subscribed, go ahead and do that now. And while you are there, leave a rating and leave a review. It only takes about 2 minutes, and it helps us reach more women who are sharing the wrong things and hiding the right ones and need this conversation. If you have not grabbed the Balance Myth Playbook yet, the link is in the show notes. Go ahead and get it today. Read it this week. I'm rooting for you, Authentic Ambassador. Your kingdom authority and your corporate influence, they're not in conflict, and they never were. So go ahead and lead. I will see you next week in our next episode. Stay in the arena.